In this video, I'm going to tell you step by step how to get to a 300 kilo deadlift. A few years ago, I was in exactly the same position you're in right now. I followed generic cookie cutter training programs like Texas Method, 5x5, 5-3-1, and stuff like that, and my results were not great. I tried to add weight to the bar every single week. I kept failing reps. I was doing loads of really hard, slow, grindy sets that left me feeling beat up and frustrated. My back was killing me all the time. I never really got much stronger. And I started to hate the training. It affected my confidence and I didn't even want to go to the gym. I got stuck around a 220 kilo or 5-plate deadlift for many years. I failed it so many times. And in this video, I want to help you avoid the same mistakes that I made. So if you don't want to watch this whole video, you don't want to spend the time learning and applying it and stuff like that, click the top link in the description. You can hire me as your personal coach and I'll do the work for you. Or a second link and you can just follow my strength training programs. So please just turn your brain off for like the 10 or 15 minutes, however long this video is, and just listen to the advice that I am going to give you, all right? Follow this advice for the next 3 to 6 months, and I promise you will see the best results you have ever seen in your training. The one thing that is going to hold guys like you back from actually getting stronger, because I know you're probably quite an intelligent guy, you think really like deep and analytical about your training, but the thing holding you back is overthinking. You question everything, you watch all these different videos, you scroll through Reddit threads, and you change your training all the time and you don't know which is the best approach to follow. I wish that years ago I would have just put my ego aside and understood that there are people who know more about training than you. I've deadlifted 300 kilos. I've helped loads of people to do the same. I'm making this video to help you. I just want you to get strong and I want you to hit PRs. And then maybe when you hit 300, you'll come back and you'll pay me to help you get even stronger. So ego to the side, follow this video. Just literally turn your brain off. Go follow exactly what I say like a robot for the next 6 months. And I promise you will get stronger, okay? So this is exactly what I want you to do with your deadlift programming. I want you to deadlift 2 times a week. And I want you to do it on Tuesday, Thursday, or Wednesday, Saturday. Other splits will work, but those are my 2 preferred ones. And we're basically going to do 1 primary deadlift, 1 secondary deadlift. The primary deadlift is the heaviest one. This is the highest priority. It's the one that we're going to do for a focus on putting as much weight on the bar. The secondary is slightly lighter, still quite specific, and the goal there is to target weak points and to get in more deadlift volume. So for the primary deadlift, this is the day 1, the highest priority deadlift. We are going to use a top set back off approach. I want you to do 1 top set of 1 to 3 reps at 80% and above of your 1 rep max. Then I want you to do back off sets of 3 to 4 sets of 4 to 6 reps in the 60 to 75% range, okay? This might look like a top triple at RPE 5, followed by 4 sets of 4 at 60%, okay? Nice and simple, super easy. That's all I want you to do on day 1. Day 2, on the secondary deadlift, we're going to take a similar approach, but I want you to choose this secondary deadlift based on a personal weak point that you have, okay? So if you currently have only been deadlifting once a week because your deadlift programming is like really hard and really heavy, I want you to choose a Romanian deadlift for this slot, okay? You're going to do 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps at RPE 5 to 7. It's going to get heavier through the block. Choose a Romanian deadlift if you only deadlift once a week. If you already deadlift twice a week, you're already adapted to that. I want you to choose an exercise that targets a weak point. So if you have bad deadlift positioning off the floor, you've got like a super rounded back and you're just like out of position and stuff, I want you to do a pause deadlift where you pause the bar about an inch off the ground for 1 second and then you complete the rep. If you feel like your conventional deadlift technique is quite good and you would like to build up other muscle groups and other movement patterns, you can choose an opposite stance deadlift like a sumo deadlift or a trap bar deadlift, for example. If you feel like you're not very confident with heavy top sets, your technique changes like rep to rep, you can choose a cluster deadlift where you basically do a rep, step away from the bar, have a short rest period, and then you do the next rep, okay? So choose one that targets a weak point. And again, we're going to use a top set back off approach, but it's going to be slightly different to make it a little bit lighter and manage fatigue. So we're going to do a top set of 3 to 6 reps this time at 75% and above. Then we're going to do the back offs very similar, 3 or 4 sets of 3 to 6 reps in that 60 to 75% range, okay? A nice, easy, simple setup for you is a top set of 4 at RPE 5 or so, and then a 4x4 or 4x5 at 60% of your estimated 1 rep max, okay? Now you've got a super simple setup. You've got the primary day with a top set back off. You've got the secondary day that targets a weak point, again with a top set back off, but slightly lighter. Nice and simple. I just want you to follow this approach for the next few months. Don't change a thing. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to set your training up into blocks. So that setup I've just given you, consider that week 1 of your block. Now, I want you to keep running that week after week until you can no longer add weight to the bar. For most of you, that will last about 4 to 6 weeks until you find a peak. So basically, let's say that week 1, you start with 140 kilos on the top set. Next week, you go 145, 150, 155, 160. Then it gets a bit harder and you drop down. Then it gets harder again and you drop down. So we would then determine that this peak here, let's say that was week 5, was your peak. Then your subsequent training blocks will be 5 weeks in length. And we're just going to keep doing blocks of 5 weeks. So 5 weeks, 5 weeks, 5 weeks, 5 weeks. And we keep stacking them on top of each other. And basically we start each block light and end it heavy. And then we aim to start the next block a little bit heavier than the previous one and end it a little bit heavier. So just to give you a practical example, let's say we start with 140 at the start of block 1. We might try and start with 145 or 150 at the start of block 2. And we keep doing that and keep stacking blocks, okay? This approach should last you a few good months. You might do block 1 with the top triple, block 2 with the top double, and block 3 with the top single. And then you might go back to the start and repeat that process over again, basically milking it until you can no longer make progress. Now, obviously, you may need to make small changes block to block because you're going to start noticing things and you're going to start collecting data on things that work and things that don't work. Let me give you a really quick way to kind of troubleshoot a plateau or like a stall in progress. So let's say that you're running these blocks and it's going great and then all of a sudden you can't add any more weight to the bar. Now, option A, let's say you are very well recovered, you feel fresh, you feel ready to go, your muscles and joints aren't sore. This tells me that you could probably increase the stimulus a little bit. So maybe you can add 1 or 2 sets to each of your deadlift days, or maybe you can push the intensity up a little bit. So instead of doing your back offs at 60%, maybe we do 63%, 65%, even up to like 70%, okay? On the other hand of that, let's say you don't feel well recovered. You feel tired, you feel beat up, your joints and muscles and stuff like that ache, and you don't feel very motivated to go to the gym. We would just do the opposite. Decrease the stimulus a little bit. So maybe we reduce sets by 1 or 2, or maybe we reduce the intensity a little bit. So instead of doing a top double, for example, we'll drop it to a top triple. Or instead of doing our top sets up to like an RPE 9 at the end of the block, we only go to like a 7.5 or an 8 or something like that, right? Easy way to troubleshoot progress. If you get a bit confused though and you don't really know what to change, top link in the description, you can book a call with me and I'll go through it with you and actually write your program for you. So this approach, I basically want you to follow this for as long as possible. Stack as many blocks together as you can over the next few months. And that is the strength portion of your deadlift training. Now, what about accessories, the bodybuilding, the hypertrophy stuff? Now, I want you to choose 1 chest-supported wide grip row, 1 chest-supported narrow grip row, 1 overhand wide grip lat pull down, 1 narrow grip like lat focus pull down with a narrower grip, 2 bicep curls of choice. My preferred favorites are like something with the shoulders higher and forwards, like a preacher curl, and then like an incline curl where the shoulders are more extended, and then 1 hamstring isolation exercise. This is just like a default that I would make sure you check off each week. If you feel like you've got some other weak points that need attention, feel free to add them in, but this is just like the basic checklist that I would run through every single week. I would recommend that you train these accessories for 2 to 4 sets of 5 to 10 reps, RPE 8 to 10. You need to be pushing these close to failure. You need to obsess about adding weight to them week after week. Try and beat the logbook every single time you do them. Don't worry about like a pump, a burn, squeeze, all that stuff. Like focus on just adding weight over time. Muscles grow from mechanical tension overload, so just keep trying to add weight to them. If on week 1 you curl the 10 kilo dumbbells for 3 sets of 8, I want you in a few months' time curling like the 18 or the 20 kilo dumbbells for 3 sets of 8, okay? So really try and add weight to this stuff over time. The strength training portion, we're going to be a bit more intelligent with. We're going to do heavy top sets and then the bulk of our work at lower intensities with loads of reps in reserve so that we can recover, adapt, and actually get stronger. This bodybuilding stuff, I want you to push super hard. So maybe the start of your block, week 1, you push it to RPE 8. And then by the end of the block, maybe you're pushing it like close to failure or actually hitting failure, okay? This is the program. That's the strength portion, deadlift twice a week. We're doing a primary, a secondary. We're doing a bunch of bodybuilding to increase the size of the prime movers and to get stronger. And then if I could give you one piece of advice outside of the training, I would recommend that you train around people who are stronger than you. Go to a strength gym, go to a powerlifting gym. You want to be the weakest guy in your gym. I get a lot of comments, people telling me that my deadlift is impressive at 300 kilos. And sure, it's like a decent number. But if I go to a strength gym or if I go to a powerlifting gym, oftentimes there is people way more stronger than me, because like there are levels to this stuff. There are people like 18-year-olds pulling 700 pounds plus. Obviously it's the exception, but I want to be around those people, and you should be too, because it makes it seem possible for you, and it's going to push you to another level to help you get stronger. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you need more help, feel free to book a call with me. First link in the description. Second link will take you to my training programs, where there are 3, 4, and 5-day options for you to just literally go copy, and you can just run them and get stronger. If you need more help, I've got another video here on the deadlift that you can go and watch that will give you some more advice, tips, and tricks. Any questions, comments, and stuff like that, post them in the comment section down below, and I'll catch you in the next video.